Okay, the recorder done. Good evening again,
Good evening.
and welcome to the TIPS meeting of September 11th, 2024. First order of business is roll call. Mayor Pro Tem present. Councilman By,
Present.
Councilmember Tara Grady. Ms. Tia Scriver, City Manager.
Here.
Councilmember Tammy Ryan,
Present.
Councilmember Alicia Washington,
Here.
Mayor Jasmine Cobble.
Present.
We have a quorum, and the meeting will proceed. You have an outline, any need to change the outline of the agenda?
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-oh, yeah. Just want to make sure we pause for a moment of silence for 9/11. It's 23 years later, and we will never forget. I was personally affected by 9/11. Thank God my aunt is alive, but we went many hours not knowing where she was. So if we could take a moment just for those families who are still impacted 23 years later, I'd appreciate it.
So we hold the silence for remembrance of 9/11. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next order of business is public comment. Does anyone from the public wish to make comment on tonight's agenda? Hearing none, we'll move right into the agenda itself. FY 25 capital budget review. I'm looking at the agenda for the budget calendar, and it says that staff will present the budget recommendations to the committee. Okay. Where's the staff?
We're here. The presentation for tonight for the TIPS committee meeting.
Yeah.
Primarily is for the capital improvement program.
Yes.
That is funded through several grants, including LMIG. We have some transportation grants from GDOT, federal government. We also have funding from our hotel motel tax through the TPD funds. And then we also have some remaining funds from SPLOST 1 and then the SPLOST 2. What you'll hear tonight is a culmination of several meetings that we've had with our community development team within the city, where we look at each of the different plans that have already been approved by council, the Parks Master Plan, the bike ped pedestrian trail plan, our comprehensive plan, and wayfinding signs, gateway monument plan. And then we also obviously looked at the comprehensive plan. So tonight, what you'll hear is us going over the list of projects predominantly for the parks. You'll also hear us go over the list for transportation improvements, including sidewalk, intersections, repaving, things like that. And then you'll also, one of the things that we wanted to get more feedback on is the concept of the city center. I know the URA has had some discussions. I think the next step in that process is to have some discussions with the city council as a body as well to determine how we'll move forward with that. Some of those things. some of those things have already been previously discussed in various meetings. Up to and including additional land acquisition for our parks, some park expansion, that we also have funding from ARPA that we need to encumber by the end of the year. So there's still a lot of things that we have gone down this extensive list, and then also bringing it to council. I'm sorry, bringing it to the TIPS committee to run down the list of projects that we have. Our new parks director has come in and worked very rapidly with Harry to go over the list of projects that are associated with the many parks that we have, the active parks that we have. We've also started discussions about the passive parks that we have, including New Miller Grove. But then we also want to also make sure we spend a little bit of time on the botanical garden and where we think we could potentially look at further design and construction of that, and just come up with a realistic plan. Once we get a little bit more feedback from this group, come up with a more comprehensive plan on when we could start tackling that. So with that being said, I know that we also have had discussions at the previous budget retreat with council. We sought out their recommendations on several items and have requested feedback. A couple of items that we, I think one of the big topic items was the street lighting and additional sidewalks. So I do want to make sure we spend adequate time talking about those. And those were things that were directly brought to us from council. And then the list of other items that were discussed during the budget retreat. Some of those items we're going ahead and addressing through current operating budget or the FY25 budget process. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. Harry, are you prepared to show the list on the screen? Yes. Of the projects? And Mayor Pro Tem, we're just going to go ahead and start with the long sheet that is entitled Capital, and it should have Parks Project, but if not, it's the one that is
Nothing happens in the park.
in Portrait. And as we go through this again, I think that I also want to, before we get further into this, just introduce our new Parks Director, Mr. Kelly Ledbetter. I think everyone else is.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, like the city manager mentioned here, we went through this list in the last pitch for the meeting, and we received several comments from the committee members. And we met again with the city manager, and the park director, and met with him at the parks, the 7 parks that we received input from the council. And then we have listed all the projects. Just to give you an explanation that the rainwater stuff is funded and completed, and that's why you have that shaded color. That means that you don't need any funding for those projects. And the first park is actually Salem Park, and then the total is going to be about $1.5 million. The city is spending at Salem Park, and the remaining projects, there's a lot. We have a proposal ready for that, and then the walking trail, and then the sanitary sewer line design. Those 3 of them are in the procurement stage, and then the remaining the sanitary sewer line extension construction, restroom design, restroom construction, and new park new monument sign. Those are funded in class 1, and then we have started working on them, and we'll be starting very soon on those projects. So that is a comprehensive list of projects for Salem Park, and once these projects are completed, I think Salem Park will be in much better shape than It was 4 years ago.
So Harry, no need to fund anything for Salem Park in this next 5-year capital?
That's correct, because these were actually in the either 2023 funding or 2024 funding from the SWAT.
So just maintenance, ongoing maintenance.
Correct, correct. And then the next one is, please stop me anytime you have any questions. So please, if I speak out of line, please stop.
Harry, let me ask you a question. This gazebo that's underway at Salem, is that an additional one, or are you talking about
This
doing?
is, this is an additional gazebo, 25, 24 gazebo with 2 fans and 3 electrical outlets. And with the sidewalk attached to this. This is going to go into where we removed the concrete, where the previous basketball court was. So these are going to be lined up with the existing pavilion, and it will be closer to where we are proposing the first one, so people can go out quickly. To the restaurant. Second park we're talking about is southeast. The funding already city allocated is already in this process one, and then the baseball field upgrade that there's $100,000 in the 2024 budget that comes up in the last December, and the rest of the projects are restroom construction that is already funded, and then the contractor is ready to start that project. The city manager signed the task order last week, and we're ready to go on that. And then, we wanted to build an interior restroom in the existing building so that we can have permanent staff at that location, because the parks director is planning to have staff assigned to each of the locations so that we can have better monitoring and maintenance activities, so we can take care of those immediately.
So here, the interior restroom will be in the field house?
No, it is going to be in the building where it's going to be above where the restrooms on that.
Oh, in the new restroom building.
No, the existing building, I don't know whether
We have offices at the top now.
the 2 offices, yes. And
We'll
then-
put it up there.
So they don't have to go outside.
So that'll take the square footage down a little bit. That's up there.
We looked at it yesterday or yesterday. So they have to do that.
But still enough to have the 2 offices.
We'll get back to more that too. Yeah.
But actually, yeah, there's only 2 now, but it's actually big enough.
And it won't, and this is outside of the, as Mayor said, outside of like the new restaurant construction that we approved.
Correct.
So these are even more restaurants.
Yeah, but the public won't be
These are
so.
for staff.
Now with that restroom construction, that was 2 additional? But the buildings,
The current building has 2 and 2 plus the urinal downstairs. And the one we are building is going to be
4 minutes, 4 feet.
four.
Here, I'm sorry, let me go back real quick. The interior restroom. So I know we were having we do have some capacity limitations to the current restroom. Because of just the age and the height or whatever. So is adding that restroom upstairs going to put more additional load on the capacity in the sewer system or whatever?
No. Yeah. That we have a big 8-inch sewer line, right there. And the terminus of the sewer line is where we are building the new restroom.
Okay, so that'll tap into okay, got it. Thank you. A little more in the weeds than I probably needed to be, but curious.
And then we're proposing this comment came from last meeting, the monument signs. We're looking for 2 monument signs and a dog park with additional parking there. And then we have the design money and the construction money there. And then the softball field. We are proposing to upgrade 2 of those softball fields to a full-size baseball field so that we can conduct line tournaments, and we are competitive there to do that. And then we are looking to upgrade all the scoreboards. I don't think we have done that for a long time.
Question, sorry, this is probably for Kelly. So Southeast has 2 baseball fields, 3 softball fields,
Yes.
something more softball than baseball. It was what our conversation.
Correct.
So have we looked at the cost to convert softball fields so that we have more baseball fields than softball fields. And I ask that because the tournament industry is usually a lot more demanding out of the baseball side than the softball side. So when we've tried to get like the Braves to come in, and I mean, their biggest concern was that there's more softball fields than baseball fields. So have we,
That's what that is.
is that a conversion?
That's the conversion.
All right,
Conversion of
well, yeah.
two.
Let me.
And you can also play, you can play softball on a baseball field with temporary fencing. You can't do the reverse.
Mhm.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
And then, we wanted to secure that entrance because right now, there are people driving about on grass and going into that after we close that gate.
Is that what this fencing around the field and
Yeah,
gating?
there's the bollards at the entrance gate. That is where we're gonna put the bollards and close that.
That's them tall yellow things that you can't drive past.
And then the fencing around the.
So that's gonna make it so that you can't drive around it at all. We have something there now, right, and they're driving around it, so these will make it so that you can't drive around at all.
Only
You could be on foot,
Yes, yes.
you couldn't drive in.
And then there are two pickleball courts we are proposing. for-
Before you go there, Harry, the fencing around the field and gate,
Yes,
is that, control foot traffic or is that, for security?
see there, we have some fencing there. And, but there is some breaching going on there, people walking through and everything, so we won't block those areas so that it's secure there.
I mean, but it's for security. I mean.
Yes, that's correct, yes,
Okay,
it's
okay.
the security, yes. that's-
Some fences are just a direct foot traffic.
No, this is, it's not into, it's a,
And Mr. Harry, if I may ask, the reason you're holding that off until 26 is just because we want to make sure everything's constructive.
Correct.
And, okay,
people, and then, we want to make sure when the dog park is designed, we want to know where the limits are.
Hmm.
We can include everything in
Right. Because the dog park is in the front of the park.
so we want to make sure that we know in 26 who let the dogs out.
You did all that to say that. You said that all up.
I'm genuinely curious, but
And it's put it in Farrington Park, and then most of these are basically mirrored from Salem Park. You can see, parking lot construction is there, and then play equipment for children. We have one already. We will add one more, and those numbers came from the original contract of Salem Park. And then we wanted to take that wood chip out of that existing one and want to put a rubberized surface, the one we have already there. And then we wanted to install outdoor exercise equipment around that asphalt path, and that 40,000 comes from the Salem contract number. And we also wanted to build the same dimension, 20 by 24 decibel inside that, so that there is
Two fans and
Yeah, I was
electric
just wondering
power
that.
and,
Yeah, will it still have
Same.
two fans too?
yeah. Salem, yeah. Farrington, on its way, on the map.
and then the shade structure.
Dog park, right? And all that.
The shade structure, we didn't put any money there because that's being. They're not at Farrington now, they're at
Thank you, Mayor.
Southeast now. And once they finish that, they will go to Brownsville and then go to Farrington. And then that contract is about a week, they're working almost a week now. And then basketball court that was requested by D3. And then the park monument, we're going to put the same monument for the park. And then the soccer field, what we wanted to do is we want to install two in the soccer field, and we're going to make that as a regulation soccer field size, so that we can have official tournaments there. And then we wanted to install irrigation for that soccer field also, so that it is grass kept all the time. And then we wanted to do a restroom design and restroom construction. and also exterior fencing. So our plan is to remove all the interior fencing, there's too many fencing interior. And you'll remove everything and then put a fence from the lower deck parking all the way to that transformer, the electrical boxes and come around. And we're planning to do a nice, wrought iron fence and not, the chicken wire chain.
I need that fencing up good soon, because everybody's going into the park. Because the bigger openings, now they're parking in the grass.
Oh.
Yeah, with no control. I had to run them off today, just going in.
In the lower field?
Into the field.
On the
you know,
lower
and
field?
parking, and parking. So that big gap, I guess they feel like they can just ride in and park where they want. So the fencing is
You can
definitely
also do it
important.
From the top, like on Farrington Parkway, can't you drive between the trees to get down the field?
It's a big hump, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like, it'll,
I think
Yeah.
when we used to have Spring on the Green there, some folks had to load in from up the top. And they could ride, you can drive in between them. I probably shouldn't say this out loud because now people are gonna do it if they haven't done it before. But anyway, yeah, check it out.
yeah, we need to do something about
And then the parking lot design, we have requested them to give us a change order because we're going to be designing a sewer line from the apartments to bring it all the way into the field, because we don't want to be building the parking lot and then go back and fill it down. So that is the closest sewer we have from the apartments. It is between, it's just outside, we have a greenway or where we build the train, there is a section there, just outside of that, that's sewer manhole is there. And we checked that and that is deep enough to bring that all the way into our property.
Harold, let me take a real stretch on something. Solar energy, particularly for the fans, that you only need it in the summertime. That's something that's been considered in any of the designs, just not worth it.
But not yet, but we can look into that.
Okay.
We can look into that, because that's a cost savings, you don't have to run the underground electric, for that. If that solar panels, priced enough to, have those 3 outlets for the boxes or, microphones and the fans. I think we can,
Just curious.
only that one less electric bill for us.
Let me jump back real quick here to Southeast, monument signs. I see we estimated a budget for 200,000 for those two, so I guess that's roughly about 100,000 a piece. And then Farrington, we've got 80, and I'm assuming we're doing 80 probably throughout the rest of the park. Is that, because Southeast is so large, one, and because it's on Covington Highway, is that gonna be a large enough sign?
why-
I mean, is it like marquee size, like screaming at you?
Is why it is 80 plus 120. The big one is we thought 120.
Okay. And it was only a 20 grand difference?
40, 80 and 120. So that's total is.
Oh, so both of them won't be that size.
Yeah, one of them is small, another.
The
one-
Hilldale side is smaller, okay. But Covington Highway is large. Are those digital at all?
Yes, so if that is in
What is
our
that
property,
one?
if that is in our property, yes, we can make it digital. If it is GDOT right away, then we have to fight that.
If we're gonna start doing tournaments, it might be a added benefit for that one to be a digital monument sign.
Particularly now they blocked our right turn, left turn there, so we may have to have a digital sign saying that go to
So
Hillsborough.
right.
Is it, is this one of the wayfinding signs wayfinding sign designs that council approved? I don't remember us seeing.
So the council approved the multi-thing with that thing. So one is the monument signs for welcome signs at the city borders. And the second one is the wayfinding sign, which is going to be on the streets pointing to city hall and things like that. The third one is going to be the park. So we have talked about here, the park monument.
Gotcha. And it's going, and we're talking about doing it digital. Is that one of the designs that we saw?
No, we have to add that to that, that the ones we have designed is, not. So
They're best on. Which really, I think the one that we picked out,
Was just, it was the,
not for the not for the park monument sign. You're talking about the gateway signs that had the
yeah, yes.
column. But the design that we chose for the monument sign is simple enough to put a digital screen on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still,
The
because it's rectangular, horizontal, so it could be just slap a screen
lettering
up there.
and things like that, that we could like that.
You're talking about the gateway sign
Yes.
that we'll put near the exit on the highway.
In fact, when we visited those monument sign locations, we were looking for our poles, and there were 2 locations we had power poles next to it.
Sweet.
And then, the third one is actually Farrington Botanical Garden, and then, we added 500,000 for that in 2025. That is in addition to the spots one approval, in 2022 and 2024. The Botanical Garden. And the next one is the Everett Park.
Go slowly.
So 25 is starting our 5-year capital improvement. Oh, because Splash 2 started in April of this year. Okay, I got it.
So Everett Park,
You need to wait for that thought to come. You
is,
pause, like, you're like, it's coming, it's coming.
so these numbers are, the recommendations from the city manager to the council, so we're open to any edits, discussion.
Oh, no, no, no.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna need something missing, but keep going.
Everett Park.
Oh, your money is taken.
The takeout design is underway, that is actually number. And then, the remaining, money, I put that $29,600 for construction, and then, we are putting some money from the ARPA for that, construction of that parking lot takeout. And then, there are multiple projects we are proposing: additional parking, additional trails, restrooms, overlook structures. We have to continue to repair the trails we have constructed, so there is some money for that. And then we are proposing physical also.
But hey, when I look at all of these dates, they're so far away. I mean, once we start, why are we? Okay, go back to the parking that's underway. How many parking spaces are we talking? If you can remember.
I can tell you, we did not increase a whole lot like we did for Salem. The reason being that we had to keep the footprint because that's in the floodplain. We cannot increase the impervious area with the floodplain. So, yeah, any additional parking we are constructing has to be outside of that.
So where we turning now in the rocky dirt, you're saying that area.
That same area.
So how many parking spaces are we gonna have proper?
If I remember correctly, it's probably 12.
Member Grimes? Yeah, okay. We are aware of the need to get additional parking, but in that current footprint, it's just very difficult to make that happen. But we are looking at other opportunities to increase the parking in that area and make it as close to the parking that we currently have and the restaurant, the proposed restaurant. So we're looking at it, but it just cannot be
In that
any
spot.
closer to
Mhm, in that
to the
spot.
river. I mean, it
Mhm.
just can't be any closer to the river.
Mhm.
We're fortunate to be able to get those that are close with the takeout itself. So, but we are really looking at additional parking.
And I think in defense of that as well, I was there about 2 weeks ago. And it was packed. And I checked out license plate. And very few of them were from the cab. So
Absolutely.
it was a draw for visitors to come to Stonecrest, which is what we're after. And when they come, they need someplace to park. So as soon as we can get that done, I think it's gonna help us a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we have environmental guidelines that we can't,
Oh, I understand that. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that-
and we only own so much of the parcel. I mean, the parcel is only so large.
Let's
And
add
there
up
was-
today.
There was an opportunity to expand that. Did we expand it? Some of that?
Not at the current location. You have, stream buffer, floodplain. There's a lot of challenges. You try to, you know, we already applied for another permit with Coleman. That's what we're thinking now, to get into the water and do the takeoff in it, so.
Who engineers?
I mean, Coleman.
Yeah, Army Corps of
We won't
Engineers.
complicate this, all that is already there, so.
So how many spaces can we have now permitted?
Well,
12, at least 12.
and the
So
next,
it's likely to, you know, what we're looking at is off-site parking. Without going into too much real estate conversation, but that's the maximum we're gonna get at Everett. And
I'm fine with that. I hear and understand that piece. Well, why are we putting the 300,000 in 20? Well, I guess that's next year. Shut up, James. Okay, Okay, later.
thank you. So, Panola shows we are adding a monument, there.
Oh,
So,
sorry, I'm sorry, one more, let's go back real quick, the trail repair work. That's for the additional, I mean, that's for the trails that are there now.
so we wanted to provide some drainage for those existing trails. Some of them,
Right.
kind of washed, so we want to make sure that, when we spend money and put more rocks, it doesn't get washed away. So
We need to fund that in 25.
So Harry, my
I don't
question,
know,
go ahead, I'm sorry, you're not finished. Go ahead.
I'm not sure that it's advantageous for us to let the rest of 24 and all of 25 go before we repair. I mean, I think we need to, first of all, see what we can do in 24. And then whatever we can't, we need to finish it in 25, in early 25. And pushing that to 26.
we want to say 24 or
Mm,
repair, trail repairs.
I mean, I guess this is more of a operation, general operations question, general operation budget question. Is there funds to begin some of the work now out of general operations in part?
We did increase repair and maintenance, but that's really to cover some of the things that we already are aware of.
okay.
And so the trail repair, because of this dollar amount, and I think we could potentially utilize some of our ARPA funding and utilize this as like a quick start project that we get, go ahead and get out of the way.
In 24?
In 24.
Are they started in 24?
So do we have to skip a whole year?
No, I'm
So we're
saying
gonna
we've
move the
been
whole 60 to
holding
24.
things- Yes. Move it.
So if you move the 60 to 24, is that going to cover, well, I'll figure out what you. Because with that 1.5 mile trail that we cleared with Bobcat, that's going to take some specialized people and equipment. So,
We probably need to get some more estimates on the cost to do that, and then we'll be able to bring that back to council before the end of the year to encumber those funds to get that work done. So we'll take a look at the cost and bring back a better number after we get the estimates on the repair work for that, as well as some of the additional clearing that may be needed for the existing trail that is closer to the river.
So move the 60 plus some.
Because the takeout is gonna mandate that we have,
That will cover some of that
That
cost,
is
too.
also going to increase the traffic in that, I mean, it's gonna increase the amount of people that come, so we certainly probably should do that.
yes, please.
Thank y'all for making that.
It is pretty late in the year. It's probably gonna be more than 25 than 24.
Yeah, but I think right now we still have enough time to get the cost and get
Oh,
it
sure.
encumbered before the end of the year.
And
And that would be
shoveling
the
the
main
dirt
concern,
and,
yeah,
25.
but I agree.
I mean, our point is just to get it out of 26.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause that's way too far away. That's too far away.
Especially for 60,000, I mean.
Yeah, I'm just looking at
That was
botanical. Say it.
And then, next one is Banana Social. We're adding a park monument there. Consultant came in and took measurement for that. So when you guys preparing the big documents.
But when you say it's underway, I haven't been there in probably the last week and a half or 2 weeks. I will be riding by tomorrow.
Um,
When you say it's
We had
underway.
Dr. Eccles in the building day before yesterday, was it yesterday? Sometime this week.
So something is physically on the ground.
Well, no, it has not,
It's
they have,
construction.
they have not mobilized, on site yet, but they, have gotten their, the teams together who are actually going to do the work, the,
Permit.
permits are going through the process, and the, I'm gonna say subs
Subcontractors.
for, are all in place now, are all lined up. But what we plan on doing is as soon as we get, the go-ahead from the design vendor contractor as well as the actual construction, we want to bring the large SPLOST signs that we have to formally, let everyone and publicly let everyone know that we have started this project, and, dirt will start moving.
I hear you. So I see the first shovel in the ground.
You will see it, soon, before the end of the year.
Right in that.
You will see it before the end of the year, if I have to go and get my shovel myself.
So,
But we are getting really, really close. We're
That's
getting
good
really
news.
close to that. But this goes directly along with, Everett Park. As soon as this gets done, the amount of, visitors we'll have, and even bringing out some of our own residents who have no idea what's in their backyard. We're going to, start promoting this. You'll start seeing some videos and other footage, on not only Panola, but Everett Park as well. So we're really going to promote that, because as soon as we can get this constructed, it is going to, be a game changer in the region, not just in, Stonecrest.
And we did not talk about parking at that location, but what little parking we have there now is always. So that's something we might want to take a look at if there's an opportunity to expand that.
We will take a look at that. We're gonna be challenged with some of the same similar, issues, because it is on the river. But also looking at some alternative parking locations, for
mhm,
things like that.
mhm.
Without saying out loud too much about the owner of the parcel, across the street
Mhm.
on the corner. Is that developed or is that trees?
Those are just trees.
Trees? I can't remember if there was, so there's a turn there.
And a
But is
lot
that
of it-
floodplain?
a lot of it's in
Is that floodplain?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's we got 1.7 here for, as plus one for construction for Panola Shows, but I could swear it was double that.
It is, we, took the remaining balance from business and residential support out of, ARPA,
Right.
and that makes up the difference between, it is just not on here, but it's, it was another 1 point something, because the
Right.
total project ended up being
Like
3.2,
3.4, yeah.
3 point something like that.
Oh, we can get an-
But that,
Yeah.
but that is just missing off of this.
On the next, project at the park is, Miller Grove Park, and we have, design 50,000, construction 600,000. This is from the SPLOST money that council approved in, 2024. That is approved.
When the dirt gonna move.
Behind
What
that,
is that from there?
we may have to fund more throughout that 5 years for New Miller Grove from our,
It's by,
real estate discussion.
yes, that's because we have to talk about the order.
We have
Uh-huh.
already, if you don't see it on here, it does not mean we don't have it, but those are separate conversations. We
Okay.
just really want to talk publicly about, the,
Non-real estate matter.
correct.
Okay.
So where you don't see it, don't think that we have not.
And also there are line items, park general, in the last few lines, and so, that's.
And
Uh,
land acquisition.
And you'll see land acquisition at the bottom right.
The next park is Brownsville Park. There is a $200,000 from the previous year budget for baseball field allocation. And the irrigation, we're looking to do that this year. And an additional lighting construction upgrade, new scoreboard for baseball field, fencing upgrade with new gates, and field house upgrade, $80,000, and that is there, and then restroom upgrade at $30,000 there, and then Brownsville expansion. So we are looking to do 2 classrooms and 3 offices. We have.
You go, Mayor Pro Tem. Or was that you, Tammy? Somebody was looking for Brownsville Rec Center growth. Who was it?
Yes, because I wanted to
Somebody.
look like Reed. That's why I
Oh.
said it.
And,
Yep.
And then we wanted to resurface, most of those parking spaces. There's, one more with you, and then we have, 1/16/2026. Again, these are subject to council's input and change, the year.
Let me ask you about the, sorry.
I'm sorry, one thing that we, I don't see on here is also monument sign for, Brownsville.
Over in there. That, and then, there are some general buckets there.
Before you go to here, in Brownsville Park, the concession upgrade, is that, both concession stands? The one in the field house and the one exterior to the field house? Because the field house concession stand is really neat. A lift.
That is the only thing we could not get in, the last 2 days, and we may have to, look at that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear from the outside, but.
I mean, yeah, it's
More
got
coming.
HVAC, it's got, yeah. So the upstairs was renovated, the field house, but the concession needs to go.
The one facing the board.
The one facing the football field,
Football.
right? So this 80,000 is for the exterior one, the standalone one, rather. This 80 grand.
Yes.
We need to
And the other one.
add, and I don't know if you want to increase field house, well, we need to do it before 27 though. So that field house upgrade, I mean, that could be the concession stand, because the top half was already done. Not long ago. Since we've been in city, so that's what, 7 years?
It would have been 2019 or after, sometime after 2019.
Well, I thought it
If
was
the
before
city
COVID.
did.
No, the city didn't do it. The folks
County did.
the association who leased the park did it. And,
Check and
I'm
make
gonna
sure
get
it's
into-
Stonecrest standard. 'cause-
I mean, it certainly is in a better
Still look
condition
like
than
it.
the concession
I
area,
get that,
for
but
sure.
we want them to match.
So
I'll
maybe,
ask, Mr. Ledbetter and he and Harry to make sure we take a look at that and we could potentially increase that amount based on that. And we'll still call it field house upgrades,
concession,
concessions upgrade, the field house as well as the, I'm not sure what we call the other one.
well, I mean, one's a standalone concession and one's a field house concession.
Yeah.
I don't know if it can wait till 27 though. I'm pretty sure it can.
So Harry, these,
So maybe wait, I'm sorry, give me 1 second, because I'm thinking and talking and writing at the same time, it's a bad idea. Maybe we, share some of the costs and share the timeline with the Brownsville expansion. Maybe split that over 2 years to give us some flexibility to do field house in 25.
25,
Mayor, I think we
26.
really want to get the,
Right.
I mean, we certainly don't mind, moving all of them to 25. And the reason I'm saying is because what we really feel we need is additional classrooms and offices.
Okay.
Because we want to expand our programming, and in order to
Right.
do that, we need more space on the inside.
Okay, well, let's just figure out how we can move that 80 or more to get the field house concession stand done, or at least double moving in 25.
Is that what you're gonna say?
I was just asking about the classrooms and the offices. Is that gonna be ground level or are we going up?
Ground level, that we're not trying to do anything.
Okay, that's another conversation. Cause I don't understand why we can't go up.
There are a couple of, when you go up, you have a elevator. But you have to have everybody able to access that, have a desk.
I get the ADA complaint, I get that. I'm just, I just,
And we just pay for the roof.
we'll have more discussion. I'll call you.
And
Look, can I ask you a question?
What do we, I wanna understand, what do we want in that space, whether it's up or down? What's
No,
that?
I'm grateful for what is being offered. I'm asking, why can't we modernize and go up with what we're doing versus staying flat? Maybe one day we might have our own. That's
We trying to understand.
You don't have to understand it. You don't have to understand. Keep going, keep going.
With the additional space, I mean, with depending on what it is, and I guess if I can understand what you.
So what I
And the
want,
reason
what
I
I,
say that, the reason I'm saying that is because we're talking, I don't know, a dance studio and a weight room. We need to know that so we know how to play in that space. If it's something that doesn't have to be attached to the current recreation center, we still have land available there to do other structures, if you will.
Okay.
And that's why I was just trying to understand what was it outside of it being elevated, what was the nature of what you were trying to get?
What are you trying to achieve in that space?
What do you want us to do?
So I want us to have dedicated space where we don't have to move certain things like our after school piece. I want there to be a true after school spot that does not have to be shared or converted or utilized in something else. There's so much need to rent space in Stonecrest. I mean, I think we're losing out on a lot of
Rentals?
yes. We are missing revenue and they're going to other places that, they don't have to go to. And if we had some space where we could show off, this is what this is, and this is what this will always be, then people will start to really believe. I get so many negative comments about Browns Mill being old and antiquated.
Okay.
When you look at Wade Walker, when you look at Redan, I mean, you don't even believe you're in the same county in terms of those facilities. And so we need a solid.
So we need a new bill. I mean, it's
Well,
what you're asking for. It's
that's
not
what I thought.
necessarily-
Okay, I said it.
Well, I mean,
But I'm just saying,
Well,
I know he doesn't make a decision, but I can share my ideas with him. But what I'm saying is, if we're talking about doing this edition with 3 offices, 2 classrooms and 3 offices, I just want us to get the maximum, because I really wish we didn't do the roof. I wish we already had this ready to go up. We could kept our regular roof.
no, ma'am.
No.
So now that I hear what you're saying, I think if we're looking at increasing space for rentals and things of that nature, I think we can still accomplish that because the city still owns several parcels that we could do some different things on. In addition to Browns Mill. Browns Mill still has a healthy footprint of space. What we're gonna do at the Botanical Garden is gonna have massive spaces for rentals. But I do also want to address we are going to make some very big improvements on the interior, as many as we can on the interior of Browns Mill, but it's still a 50-year-old building. But we certainly have taken steps to try to increase the maintenance schedule that we have on that building. Even when we open back up in next week after next, there's some improvements that we're making along the way. And I think this is one of the things that I have shared with council before. We want to take the facilities that we have and bring all of that to the Stonecrest standard before we start going to the other places. But this is a good opportunity to do that. And that's also why I want to use as much of the ARPA funding as I can to renovate, to do these things.
Just a little bit.
But we can certainly talk more about your vision of.
But that's,
A new bill.
that's D4.
No, I mean, but the Stonecrest. But
And then, because the other thing is, we also, I mean, in the various conversations, there are other areas that we have that we are planning on having large spaces for that type of thing.
And I think we've seen some samples in the DeKalb County area, but I'm sure there's some others, and new people on board,
Yeah.
got some really grandiose ideas as to how we can expand Browns Mill, be it up 4 or 5 stories, or whether it's out 4 or 5 more buildings.
Or it's a
So-
complete demolition.
So we need to entertain that.
But I mean, now you're talking about tens of millions of dollars. You think the people in District 5 would want a nice 3-story
Ask
rec center
Ask
built in
They're
D5?
Absolutely.
Take some of those trees. Play about 10 acres of these trees. and
We
build
we
a-
will watch our tree cutting, trust me, we don't clear it, we don't clear cut.
Something Mr. Ledbetter is hearing things that excites him, all parks are want all space in the city to be parks. And it sounds like,
At least surely D5 feels the same way.
The last,
We see advocates for D5 now, leave 4 months.
last group is, and some general buckets. So you have the, previously, allocated money for light upgrade, park improvements, sports field upgrades, irrigation grading, building upgrades, playground upgrades, and land acquisition. These are, land acquisition, the only one we are putting the new money in this last year. Everything else was, either it was on the 2023 council approved budget or 2024 council approved budget. We kept it in general because we want to make sure that, when one park using more than the other park, so we can move the money around. And that that completes our parks discussion on capital. And the next one is going to be the
What's the
Before
total?
we move, I will yield to the mayor's question.
I may have answered my question. So the total, is this the total for the 5 years? This 9.7 for the 5 years?
that's the one that we have spent allocated the slot one, and then we got the other distribution. The others.
So if I add up
Mhm.
20, I guess I'm starting at 25. If I add up 25 to 30 is what?
3.5. And,
Six
next,
point five, 1.8. I need to add all 5 of these.
but
Think
let's
it's
look
a
at the second page. If
Uh.
this one, we're in this. So,
Mary, before we go to the next page, where is the New York? Where is it going to be?
So we already own, we already own New Miller Grove Park now. We're just talking about doing stuff on it. So it is, if you're coming down Panola Road, go past the Lou Walker Rec Center.
Okay.
Right, so stay on your right. You got all those interesting businesses. Just right past that.
Right before you get to that church,
Pharmacy?
before you get
Before
to
you
the
get to the
church.
church, there's like a small side
If you-
street you turn on.
If you look
It's
across,
before you get to that side street.
so if you look at the,
I never knew that.
there's
You won't
one-
know.
It's a passive park.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know.
So we want to do
Do
to
something
make
with
it.
it. Okay.
Actually, church that they go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, it's where the old Mud Rucker was before they
Thank you. It's a nice little cutaway. It's a nice, I mean, it fits right there in the community that you.
Right, it's.
You would never
They were
know.
gonna build a senior thing back in there too, right? A senior development, if the sign stood there for years.
At one point,
At one point, they were gonna
the law
build
officer
something. Build.
trying to annex it some kind of way.
Mm,
I know, I see.
You know
It
where
really
it is.
belongs to
Yeah.
that neighborhood that's behind it.
Yeah,
Really.
It's a nice.
They use it a lot.
Okay, I know where it's at now, thank you.
It's great this time of year too.
So
Cooler.
whose idea was to get the paper like this and do it like this? Thank you, whoever did it.
What's what we did.
See, Harry, you.
I don't know what you did first.
This is amazing. This is what I
If you didn't
like.
like it.
Yeah. Thank you for considering all.
Mr. Harry, before we move on from parks, I just have two questions. So general park improvements, that line item for 1 million, that's something, that's a little bit of swap of, money that we can kind of allocate and around just a little bit of buffer room.
And then if, any of these, allocations in the previous, rows, need a little more money, we can move that to, take that down.
So if a quote comes in a little higher than the 60,000, maybe at 65, instead of coming back to move something around from another line and take away from something else, you just come down here and take the 5 out of that. Say the gazebo comes in 10,000, you have to come back and say, can we defund Salem Park gazebo so we can fund Farrington Park? You know? It's there, which we would always do.
And,
It's right, better word, contingency fund.
and under land acquisition under 26, does that mean we are going to wait to acquire land until 26 to use that funding?
No, that is, I'm sorry. No, Councilman, that does not mean we're waiting to 26. Right now, today, we have 3 funding sources for land acquisition that we are actively using.
So that would be in addition to those 3 funding sources.
Or of addition? Because I can't.
You waited for that too.
No, that wasn't what the wait.
And then if not, we'll also always come back to council and ask. For the other thing.
So regardless, when we're thinking about ideas for acquisition, we just need to look at those 3 funding sources. That would be ARPA, SPLOST, and general funding.
Correct.
Till you run out, or until we get to 26.
So we ready to move to other projects?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So these are the transportation and other projects, you remember in the last, tips meeting, the city manager asked the council members to send the locations for street lights and lighting, there was a lot of, locations that mentioned that the street lighting, so we have, $300,000 capital cost for those locations, and then we're still waiting for those locations, the exact locations, as to the addresses, properties or something, so that we can start conversation with Georgia Power and Stafford Court.
Is that your way of saying you're waiting on us to give you? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what it sounded like. So with the
Your
bridge,
locations in the hearing.
with the bridge that I was talking about, Lithonia Industrial, underneath, would that be, Georgia Power or would that have to be DOT for underneath the bridges?
by
Depends on which
Woodrow?
bridges. Yeah, I mean,
Right before you get on 20. Right where that,
At Woodrow?
McBurrow's Law Office building.
Oh, the borough
That's
building.
like,
Industrial
Right.
That's,
that, I think,
I think that's good.
underneath that is,
we can,
Oh, that's
we can
definitely
actually,
Yeah.
write it down in our,
Portland.
quarterly.
We need to get
yeah,
to
cause Ms.
November.
Cofield, and I'm bringing her name up, Ms. Cofield, I'm representing you today real good. Ms. Cofield has spoke about that a couple of times.
And what's
about-
happening there?
It's dark,
Oh, lighting. Okay,
lighting,
okay.
just the lighting. Mhm.
Cause they normally have lights up under there, right?
Yeah, and they're out,
They
that's
do?
the thing.
Oh,
They're
okay,
out.
all right.
Yeah, we can bring it up.
They're out. Okay.
Yeah, we'll take that.
And, the other one is, sidewalk design, various locations. These are coming from our, multiple studies we have. So we are funding $200,000 for, design, and then construction. We are funding 425 and 826 and 27. The reason we are heavily funding this because, we're kind of, going to taper down on the paving side of it. We want to get into sidewalks a lot more than what we have to do all this time, because we spent a lot of money paving all these.
We appreciate you for that. Mr. Harry, so for the, city manager, you might be able to answer this as well. For the designs, do we have a list of designs already? Or are we able to kind of, or from like previous tips and meetings, are we able to kind of direct you on a couple that we
You
should be?
remember, Councilmember, that city manager asked everybody to send in the sidewalks to her for the last six.
Right, and you,
I know I got a list from you, but one of the items that you sent was already addressed in resurfacing, and the other item, I don't have it in front of me, but I think,
in the trail, in the bikes trail plan, it's sidewalk 18, Hillville Road to the
Oh,
Cab
to that
Medical.
bridge.
Mhm. And then the bridge, and then design work on the bridge, but I didn't know if the bridge design work counted in this.
No, not the first design. It is just purely sidewalks. We have, there's a lot of short-term sidewalks recommended in our studies.
Right, Hillvale to the cabinet, coming out Park.
Yeah.
Is there a sidewalk on the other side? Hillvale to Covington? It's shorter, I know, but
Hillville to Covington, it's there's no sidewalk there.
there's no sidewalk all the way from the Cab Medical to Covington on Hillville. There's no sidewalk on Hillville. On I, oh, okay.
There's absolutely not. It's, well, there
Is it
are,
wide enough to put a sidewalk on?
We don't know. I mean, I remember my recollection, there's a lot of vegetation
yes,
on the side.
there's a lot of vegetation where
Where the
the
right of way
original
goes, yeah.
sidewalk kind of ends and just stops. But there is, plenty of land space on the other side, where there's homes and constructions and subdivisions. And that's where the, children are using when they're going up to Mother Grove High School.
I think in our study, basically prioritize the sidewalks along, so to the school, so we may already have it. So, even though we asked the council members to send the list, what we need to be in one of the studies, in this, so that we can prioritize this.
It's in the bike trail,
Yeah,
pedestrian trail.
the 18.
18. It is 18, and out of respect for my B3 person, I would also suggest, it's 18 in, I think 80 sidewalk 80 under Walmart, but I think we already have that. I don't know if we already have that.
Oh, I'm sure that all that whole
Yeah,
Farrington
that
Parkway, all of that is in. I don't know, it's probably in that Farrington area, yeah.
And the next two projects, we have completed, that was, the Bronxton sidewalk and then the Covington Highway sidewalk. Those are the exact number of, the dollars we paid to the contractor. And then, there is a Farrington sidewalk 1, which is going to be, towards the Walmart side. That design is complete, and we are waiting on GDOT enforcement permit. And also we are looking, for a Farrington Road sidewalk 2, which is going to, connect where that, the shopping strip mall where that, the bus stop is ending. To from there to the bridge where they are going to end their sidewalk. So once we complete this, anybody from Panola Road to the hospital to be able to walk on our way there. So they have that is
So that's on the south side of Barrington, and the north side where the bus stops are. I think
there is not enough real estate to do that.
They're on the street, literally.
And then, this is an example of, how we are prioritizing our sidewalks. The reason these are prioritized is because people have already made a sidewalk.
Right.
And then we have one fatality also. And then it is very difficult to walk on the street when these guys are just zooming both ways. That's the reason we prioritize that. And we will continue to prioritize these kind of sidewalks where the people are already walking and then in danger of being hit by traffic.
So if I could bring up something, I guess just maybe in the, just something to take a look at. Evans Mill, the, right in front of Brooks Mill, what's that subdivision? George, I know it's still your district, it's on that side. Okay, what's the harbor? Harbor is on Salem. And Winchester is on Evans Mill. Okay, so coming from Flat Rock Elementary, coming up towards Salem, we're having a lot of folks, believe it or not, walking to get onto Salem Road. And so from the end of Salem and Evans Mill up to Harbor, whatever that is right there, there's nothing but the grass, and they've made a sidewalk. I've seen students walk, and I've seen adults walk. As a matter of fact, I picked a lady up the other morning who was walking up to Walmart for work. That's a dangerous piece until they can get to the sidewalk where, what is that? The greenhouse where Miss Fleming lives. There's some sidewalk along there. But coming from Evans Mill up to that part of Salem, it's
We
extremely
definitely,
dangerous.
I'm taking the notes here. We'll look at that.
And you can measure it by the footpath.
Yeah.
When you see the footpath muddy, and you have a lot of traffic.
Mhm. So it's quite concerning, and I know you probably don't want to talk about coming from the Citgo on Evans Mill. And I guess you really don't think people walk there, but at some point. we need-
There's
we
some
need
sidewalk we are looking at Evansville around that
Yeah.
area. Okay.
They're in the bike center trail.
Yes.
And some are in the transportation. That's fine.
Yes.
I just know.
So every sidewalk in the transportation master plan is in the bike plan. We transfer all of that.
So every,
Harry, can we put the dollar amount that we have already allocated for Farrington Sidewalk 1 on here?
We can.
We did it in 24.
That's fine with it. But I'll bring that up.
Was that, we funded design?
We found the design,
Right.
yes. Yeah. I'll put that there. And then the next section.
Will we get shovels in the dirt in 24?
We
got our permit.
We are ready to go. We don't have the GDOT permit. And then
That's what we're waiting on.
voted up, within last.
So even though that says 25, we'll actually probably get that going in 24.
Yes, I have
Did we
the,
fund any construction in 24?
we did some money, whatever the,
I was like 300,000 or something. right?
whatever we took out for design balance is still there. And, we voted up in our last meeting with GDOT, and then I sent emails and everything. The next big category is
Did you send
intersection.
her the, did you send it to
I did, yes.
You didn't hear from?
We would send it to somebody else.
No.
Right. And then the next big
Oh.
group is
Or V8
intersection
engine fan.
improvement. The council funded 3 concept plans in SPLOST 1, the Miller, Thompson Mill, Turner Hill, Hayden Quarry, and then Klondike, South Dora. That concept is already completed, and I'm getting a delivery on September 21st. On that, and then these are the concept, not the full design or anything like that. I'm also getting a full design proposal on September 21st. And then at that time, we will know how much right away we needed and what kind of a recommendation we go on about. Before we start, we'll have that. I reviewed the report already, draft form, and then I did not, on the screen. I'm going to get the delivery on September 21st, so it'll be available.
So is it saying
I
the
agree.
concept is done or underway? You want to put complete there? For concept?
Yes, we can.
so that full design will be for all 3 of those?
For 3 of them, yes, the proposal is for 3 of them. And also we have another project here we're looking to do a concept for Eden Quarry Rockdale connection that was in our transportation master plan. That is the city manager asked me to place that because that is one of our economic development projects. To boost our mall.
Connected to the city center.
Business. And then, we also,
That's not in the first three though.
correct,
So we can mark all three of the concepts complete.
correct, and as soon as I get those on 25th, I'll mark them.
Right.
And then, we have, some match funds we are proposing.
One more question for those three. Design and construction, I mean, that is truly and construction?
No, not truly in construction. It is, we wanted to, once we have the full design, we will know the number. We are trying to squeeze that out of our pocket. That's the reason we pulled down. Then
Okay.
the construction funding need to come from, future. The reason we are going in this direction, is we want to establish a clear right of way needed for that right now. So that we know when the development comes in, we know what exactly, we don't want to miss the opportunity. We just can build all the way to the street and then.
Then we need to hear it. Yeah, okay. So really, we're thinking that 140 is design.
Just put it here. Right.
So we should expect to fund construction sometime in the 5 year.
Right, and then we will know better numbers at some point after when we move on to
To the actual design.
and the next two are, Turner Hill Rockland intersection, we want to do something about it, because we tried something and then, no sign of slowing down. So,
Blink, blink, blink.
Talking about our solar
Blink,
panel
blink,
stop
blink.
signs that keep getting knocked over.
two of them got knocked out.
I'm talking about how
So,
ridiculous.
we have that. And also, we have some intersection improvement match funds, so when we go for grants, we just allocated some match funds, so that. we can do that.
So do we already have a design for Turner Hill Rockland? Or is that basically design?
Turner Hill Rockland, we are actually expecting to, install some, yellow flashing, signals on two of the ends. For the people who are just going down,
Right.
and then the one coming from Rockdale. So we wanted to warn them way ahead of time that there is a stop sign coming.
That whole topography needs to be looked at. That's just a dangerous,
So we've cut back.
that's a
the
dangerous,
trees.
when you get in front of that subdivision to get ready to turn left onto. Oh, that's the dangerous piece. It's dangerous up there. I mean, it's much better than what it used to be, but it is still something that can take another look.
I think, well, I know Harry's mentioned about the flashing lights. But probably anything outside of that, obviously it's gonna cost more, but I think it may be worth it, because there are still a lot of accidents.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just, near misses, there's been some really bad accidents.
Catch on fire.
Is there nothing we can do on Turner Hill leading to Rockland?
It's a good curve, two things happen. It's a downhill plus the curve, and
Right.
then, the vegetation trees on the right side, doesn't help either. I mean, it's you miss that little flag, stop sign, and then, you're there. That's why flashing at that, instead of having that red flag in the dark, with the red flags on that stop sign, we need to have something different.
What about those, little yellow bumps, speed bumps that come up? Would something like that be able to deter people from speeding around that
Right
corner?
there. Well, we
But
talked about
we
that.
talked about it when we were thinking about the, noise to the subdivision,
Every-
the neighborhood.
This is so close.
Mm.
It's just that little piece to the level. We could just cut that out. I could
Is there-
design it. I could design that.
And is the, and do the trees not, so that like keep that sound down? Does it not muffle it?
Trees, no, there are no trees, on that side of the road. There are no trees. There's no tree buffer. It
Sure.
is just, grass and a fence.
If you were in Pine Lake, you wouldn't do it.
Kind of like a police department.
We have a, IGA.
Mm-hmm. Don't need somebody sitting over there in that little bump of grass.
Which doesn't include
Get a
patrolling the streets of Stonecrest.
That
Get-
is
get a
Stonecrest.
reputation.
What do
I said
you
it
wanna do?
doesn't
I mean,
include
what is
that.
How can it not?
I mean, if you.
Oh, you talking about the cabs idea?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought so.
You want to take your tail through there if somebody start writing tickets, because you know they already down there.
Oh, you're saying you want us to ask the cab to sit an officer there every day, all day?
I ain't say every day, all day, but there's just sometimes that
Or let me say in the peak time.
folks go through there.
Tammy be the first
Alright.
one to get caught.
I will not, I don't speed through there since the light, since the flashing thing came.
You know,
Set an example.
I mean, I know we need to come up with some fixes, but, that's a lot of our problems, lack of enforcement. People get the word that
Keep going.
certain things will not be tolerated. They will change their behavior. But if I can go 70 and a 50, nobody says anything,
Or also if I can feel no one says anything, if I can
yeah, if I can run it, I
hit
mean,
somebody and I, hit
coming out of
the battery and nobody says, I mean, that's crime in general.
Yeah.
If I can get away with it, then I'll do it again. So there's a conversation for police.
Put a deterrent.
Yeah.
In addition to these changes that we can make.
What about a larger bump?
There may be at some point, we may have to do a traffic study, because traffic studies, seriously, they consider the accidents and the type of accidents, because unless somebody just drove off without a police report. So the police report, all those are fed in, and then see what is the cost of that, and then we can come up with the recommendation for that intersection.
I don't think we need to study nothing else. I'm telling you, I go that way. That's my route home. That's my route out. We need either them big speed bump humps that make your car go up in the air.
I thought you said that was too
Cause
loud.
I've been on one of those in my mama's neighborhood.
I thought we said
and
they
I
were
was-
too loud. I thought we
No,
said-
I didn't say the grrr. I'm talking about the big speed hump bump
Oh,
that will,
I mean, and
yeah.
that will cause, I mean, aside from that, that's less noise. That's more of a to-do tune rather than.
well,
So
let's let
let
the
the
doom tune and the
engineers-
engineers decide what's the best.
That's
To
okay.
create something to go over like that, on a heavily traveled road, you're looking at potentially increasing the number of accidents with something like that. So let's let,
We don't install
we're gonna take,
speed humps on the collector or anything about.
Automated therapy,
Yes, it's
right?
only for the local.
But you see them in the residential.
Understood.
so we'll take a look at that. Obviously, we all are aware of what's going on and we need to come up with some type of solution with that.
But this 80 is for signal, the yellow.
Correct, and we want to do at least for 2 lanes. The other folks coming from there, they don't, they can see it because it's straight.
Right.
And then, we talked about this, we have a, pedestrian crosswalk ramp striping and, signs. These are basically the general bucket, and it is coming from, our studies. There are some quick projects, recommended in those studies. Some of them are lacking crosswalks, even though there are sidewalks, but there's no crosswalks. And then, there are no ADA ramps and some of those things. So, we have just put $200,000 every year from 2027, so we can do better by it. And then the next, RRFBs, rectangular rapid flashing beacons. And then the PHBs, those are the arc signals. The council approved to apply for grant, for these. The money actually, this is even though we are funding it, but the revenue line will show that it's coming from the grant money for those. So this is basically protecting all our schools where the children can cross by pressing the button, and then but you can stop it and after that.
Do the PHB again, what is that?
A PHB is overhead, those arc signals, those are on the mast arms. The RRFBs are on the side with the post there. And then the PHBs are pedestrian hybrid beacons, which are when you have a multi-lane crossing, you have those about.
It's the one that goes like this.
Right, if you see in Beaver Highway, you have multiple.
County Road has one.
Yes,
Right in front of my. Praise the worship, okay.
So the projects, and then, you know, in this year, we have broken down a little bit more on the monuments, wayfinding and gateways than last year budgets. So that 74,000 we paid for the study, and then we have, gateway monuments, we are funding, we funded $350,000. From, 2024 budget, and then there's $100,000 for wayfinding. We included $80,000 in every year, you know, when our major projects like town centers and like that shape, we want to have these signs, put in the major intersection to point where our city hall is, where our, you know, parks and back that up. And then we have bridgescape.
Harry, where's the park? Oh, because we've already funded the park, right? Okay.
Yeah, we took that, I have it. And then the bridgescapes, you know, we're funding some money, you know, we don't know exact numbers, so we throw in some money there for, what we have designed for Panola, for reach that 6 foot, for lettering of, Sawcrest, and we want to do that for Farrington Bridge and the road bridge also. And that money is there, and then we added some money for Jordan Hill Bridge, that is way down the line, 29. And then, we have, festive lights, we bumped the money a little bit for 25 because, we're ordering new, banners, which is going to be like 2.5 times bigger than what we have already. And then, rest of them are all, lighting, every year. That's 25,000, and then,
What's the festive lights? What specifically is that?
Holiday
On
lights. We,
no place on the pole.
Yeah. Reindeer with noses flashing.
And then for Valentine's Day.
Don't.
We're focusing on.
And then, we added some money for, bus pads, because we need to get with, it's gonna take a minute to get the approval and coordination with, WADA. And then we threw in some, money for, additional benches and shelters, not the shelters, we would do the bus pads and the concrete pad and then, Panola Road, project phase 1. So the council adopted, Panola, study. And we don't want, we could just, you know, do the study and put it on shelf. So we had some money there for matching funds. We definitely won't be able to do using all our money, so these are matching funds. And you go after the grants to do, you know, anybody may remember that we were looking to do the phase 1 was, wherever the GDOT ending from there to, Thompson. Right, so this is the first, phase there. So we just go in, $5,000. You know, once it is designed, then, we know the construction value. After we go, for funding, further funding, we may have to adjust that, depends on that. And then we have put in $500,000 for right plus the, recommendations of grant match funds. So we're looking to go after the grants to, use that matching funds to go after that. And the next line is city center. We can see that the blank, we don't want, we want to keep that in the center here. That's the reason we included that, in this spreadsheet. And then the spots management is, we're keeping at the level, same level as we had in 22, 23, 24, the focus of the year. And then you look at that total there, that is, the transportation total. And then the parks total is coming from the previous page. And, the total is, there at the bottom. And, I think, you will see some adjustments from the administration when it comes to the recommendation, basically moving the money around to match the revenue and the plan to match this final total. And,
So I still would need to add these up. I see a total per year, but what's the total for the 5 year?
yes, so it is not there at the moment, Mayor, but we wanted to make sure we heard from you all. When you see this again, we will shore up those numbers based off of the estimated, revenue from SPOS, and we'll be able to do that at that time, but we wanted to make sure we had that, and then I also want to have an opportunity to talk to full council regarding some of the items that are on here. That I need to have a more detailed conversation with the URA and with council before we can solidify some of the funding for the years.
Okay. So this 5-year category that says SPLOST, this is just SPLOST?
Correct.
This is not the other TPD,
Because-
LMA.
It is,
But it's only expenses.
this is only the expenses, the revenue will show.
So SPLOST 2 is 90 million?
No, it's not 90, it's,
What's SPLOST in?
uh,
Was it 9 million per year?
9 million
It was
per
9
year.
million per year. At 4 years. 6 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. 54. We're well above that.
correct, and then we need to adjust these numbers based on the input we heard from the council today, and then, you know.
25, 29. We're about 33. With math.
Yes, but keep in mind, that some of the things that we have not put funding in for either of those years, that will probably be a large portion of
Mhm.
And
Well,
one,
33 is already. 950.
And I'm missing this conversation. What are you talking about?
Sorry, we're doing quick math. I was just thinking through SPLOST, 6 years, $99 million a year, 6 times 9. Then I was quickly adding 25 to 30 to see how close we already were to that number with what's in front of us. So this is about 33-ish, give or take, probably more like 35 million right here. So I was just trying to calculate if we get $9 million over 6 years,
$9 million per year.
right, times 6.
Yeah.
Subtracting this 35 that's already here, I was just trying to figure out how much.
Somebody guesstimated about
19.
70 billion, 77 billion. Considering inflation over the next.
Well, it could be, but we're gonna go with the 9 million per year. Until we probably see some, if we see that revenue trend like that in probably over the first 2 years,
yes,
then maybe we'll. SPLOST 1 certainly did render those results. If we
we
see that trending differently, we'll.
were never nowhere close to the 9 million in this plus one estimate. We were
Right.
like $4 million.
It was like
5 million.
5 or 6.
Yes.
Yeah, like 5 or 6, and we ended up coming close to 9 before it was all done.
And then one line item I forgot to mention is that the line 35, that's 3.37%. You know, we believe that with this $6 million and the current savings, we have taken care of a good portion of bad roads. And then we're looking at requesting to fund $3 million from 2016, 30. And that's again, we are here to.
Is that here?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So from what I'm gathering in the conversation, it's the difference. So do we anticipate any additional projects getting more than the difference of like $20 million?
Yes, Councilman Fire,
Oh.
we still I need to have additional conversations with the URA and council regarding some of the line items that we have not funded yet.
I appreciate you for being patient and clear. I appreciate that. Understood.
But we've got about 15 million, give or take, to play with. To get to the
To
SPLOST,
identify.
to get to the SPLOST total.
Wait, I thought it was 19 million.
Well, some of
I'm
the
not
things
doing
we're,
exact
I mean,
Yeah,
some of the things you all have moved tonight, so, the current totals that he has is gonna be adjusted, but roughly.
Somewhere between 15 and
super duper.
And then, well, it could be more though, because this, like you said, this is just expensive. We still got LMAGAB, we still got TPD,
Grants.
and, right.
There's another, number of other funding sources besides what is
Wow.
listed on here.
And also,
And so the next time you see this will be at the,
budget,
uh, October 12th work session, when we'll present the draft of the budget
Yeah.
to council.
So you were, so. They-
I know this is tedious.
Guys, I have an appointment tomorrow, which requires that we get by 7 o'clock. So I'm a little to
Yes,
Councilwoman Ryan, who's the vice chair of the TIP committee.
Okay, thank you, sir. This evening.
I know it's tedious here, but what I did like about the last capital improvement budget that we put together, we had an acronym for what plan it came out of. Will you add that?
There, we're going to not only do that, this is just a working document. When we get to the actual presentation, it'll have the same thing we had here, that column that has that. We just wanted to make a very simple working document.
We can get there. Yeah.
That's appreciated.
Mhm.
And so all of these plans will connect. You'll see which plan it came from. Obviously, our comprehensive plan has activities that work plan will also include the connection to that, to the capital improvement plan. If it's parks, transportation, bike, pedestrian trail, whatever plan it's come from, if it's on all 3 of them, on all 5 of them, you'll see all of those listed. And it'll tell you the exact plan, the plan number that's in the plan,
The project.
the project number. So you'll have all that detail.
I appreciated that. What you made a statement that spoke to that it was in the transportation, like Ted. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We are at the point of committee member comment, huh? Oh, yeah. No, I thought we talked about it. Didn't we just talk about this project by day?
We did, unless you all have any other questions about
No.
anything that is currently.
That was A and B.
It really was.
Yeah, we're not gonna have
I mean,
another.
unless you want-
You got something else you need to
No,
say?
I have been, working hard to get this EIS into our page, and I never had an opportunity to show it to the council, except, the mayor, I think, so.
Okay.
It is, so, we got, some real fancy GIS now. So you can, see this here, okay, you wanna know what we paid in 2019, what we paid in 2020, 21, 22, 23, and then, so what we are paying now, 2024, all these. And then what you approved on Monday,
You see the old budget. Yeah.
is right here. So these are the, I'm gonna turn off everything else. Yeah. And what you approved, last Monday night, is the blue, rows, so you can see, these are the new subdivisions, approved last night. And also, I don't know whether I ever showed you this, the study we done using a consultant. That also, I have it here, I'm gonna show it. So the conditions, our streets are, there are multiple conditions, excellent roads. So it's writing it down. So you can see that a lot of roads were assessed excellent at the time, and then these are very good.
Mm.
And these are good. And these are fair. These are marginal. So you can see it's, the entire city is colored
Wow.
with all these light up. And I'm going to remove all of these and show you the 2 street conditions we have been attacking all this time. These are a very poor condition. And then you got your poor condition. So these are the roads we have been attacking. You can see that council member 5, this.
Stone.
Yeah. So this is just to solidify
No, that's
our,
Stone Bridge.
solidify our argument about we're not arbitrarily picking streets
Mhm.
because somebody's calling us, or somebody wanted this to be paid. So I'm gonna put this, the 2024 paving here you can see that it's going on top of these. You can see that it's going on top of that poor condition streets. And also you can see the one, the council recommended, food on Monday is going on top of those things. So you can see, the red ones, the blue ones are going on top, blue or purple is going on top of these, yeah, that,
Here's-
Oh, yeah.
so. You can see that going on top of.
I like it, Harry.
So that, is the
Fancy
graphical
schmancy.
representation or argument to how the city determines what roads we pave. And it's very clear that it's based on the roads in the poorest condition. And we, Harry has worked with our GIS department to, work on this, and I think they've done an excellent job in putting that together.
Yes, sir. Mr. Henry, I wanted to let you know that we got positive comments. When we
Better find a way to.
got to talk about, when we talked about, I actually posted about the fact that you added some of those roads in there. I was very happy with the work that you and, City Manager Scruggs did with adding Keystone and inverse, adding Keystone and, Oxbridge Way to a homeowner actually reported and said was very happy with it.
He was,
He sent an email, didn't he?
he was.
No, that wasn't that. That was
No,
different.
no.
That was different. I was talking about, it was a nice Instagram comment. Not that one. Not that one. It was a very nice.
I can truly say these guys are out
Yeah.
in the morning because again, I take Salem. And so, Harry, it's really good to see those wooden splash signs.
Big ones.
where-
Very,
And
very
people
good.
can see those, I mean, I took pictures this morning, I think I was gonna be late, but,
Great.
just stop and go and you just see it and I mean, I'm just so freaking excited
It
about.
makes you
Yeah,
really
it
feel like
does.
it's a city,
It-
and it's good work, and it's really, I didn't even think, like,
So
See,
thanks,
it's-
everybody.
Just the addition of the sign, has made a big difference.
Mhm.
Because it's one of the things that I keep saying, I've sat here and talked about all the things we're doing, but now we're using those as opportunities to show. But we're also now our communications team, in the next day, 24 hours, you probably will see some, press release, media content around this very same thing. But it's just it's a good thing to be able to, say it. Staff go out and execute, and then everybody can actually see.
It's a welcome sight. It's a welcome sight.
So we gonna continue to, when you see the sign go down, you know, work is beginning. We're very excited about that. The next one I wanna see go is, Canola Shoals.
Well,
the
I'm
folks that
excited
live there.
today for West Barrington. Came off of Canola Road, saw West Barrington and what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Really exciting to see them doing that. So I think people are doing that. Yeah. Mhm.
We have a couple of, small sections, we would probably bring that to the council. Hidden Quarry section from Klondike Library, is that, area there. That is another complaint on,
Yeah, those potholes keep coming back. They
and then
keep doing them.
also there's another location where the pine tree roots have. Just lit
On Hager Quarry,
and then,
yeah.
Like I say,
No, they will be.
we may have to, we'll probably come back to the council one more time on this paving contract after we count our markers and do everything.
I don't know.
Well, and I want us to be really mindful about the potholes. I don't know what you call them. They're potholes, but it's like right here at Salem and Evansville, there's a crater to the right when you're getting ready to come down from the fire station. There's a crater that will make you run off the road. Salem and Evansville. You're getting ready, leaving the fire station, coming to Salem. You get ready to turn right on that property that's right there on the side. There's a deep crater right there. If you go on down Klondike, right before you get to, Everett, that same kind of crater
So-
is there, so. You want,
Councilman, there are two things there. We want to classify maintenance as maintenance, we still continue to use the Cap County. They have done an excellent job in the past, 3 months, 4 months. They have changed their method of doing potholes now. They have,
Their work order system.
right, plus they're not coming now anymore, like come and put some asphalt in the hole. Now they're cutting those, you can see, the subdivision right here. They have come and cut, square cut, and then pave it, roll it, and it looks nicer. So we want to continue to use that service for, those.
Those kinds of
potholes,
things, okay.
And then the issues on the edges and things like that.
Okay.
These are the largest sections, like, Hayden Quarry I was talking about, from Klondike all the way to the subdivision entrance. It's in bad shape, so it's a section, like we did the council of the Panola Road.
Mhm.
It's the.
Down on the-
in that area. So we don't want to be using the capital dollars into the.
Right, to do that. Yeah. Well, I will say, shout out to Miss Peggy. Thank you, Miss Peggy. We've had two big potholes, Evans Mill and the fire station. And, right before the firing range, the gun range on Goddard. And so I've been pleased and. took
Peggy and
pictures
Mr. Richard.
I don't know, I don't know Mr. Rich.
Mr. Lemke, he really wants.
I know him, I know
He's the
him.
director.
Shout out
Or
to them. Thank
deputy
you,
director.
thank you for coming in. It's not been months and months, so I believe what you just said. So, Mr.
So-
Harris, you have anything else on this?
Let me add in to this, not only have we paved, how many miles is it? More than 100 lane miles. So key numbers here, more than 100 lane miles paved. Our average score started at somewhere in the 30s. We are now in the 60s,
67.
67. Right. So the national average for roads is 60.
Yeah, it's
Give or
60.
take.
Well, if you have 60, that means, you are in a good shape. Your road design good shape, if you're 60.
So we started half of that. Now we're above 60. So we're above just about what a good national average score would be, pushing 70. We'll probably end up somewhere between that 67, 68, because now many of our roads are not as terrible as they were, obviously. So now that'll level off a little bit. We've also, over the last 6 years, looks like we've dedicated about $30 million.
Correct, yes, 1.6 last year and then 12 million or 13 million.
The year
previous
before.
year.
Right.
So those two are the ones who really pushed us, really, the 12 plus,
That 12,
13
yeah.
plus 1.6 pushed us way into excellent quality.
So 30 million in road repaving. Over 100 lane miles paved. Score's gone from the 30 to the 67.
It doubled.
Right,
Yeah, it
score
doubled.
doubled.
Well.
Right, yeah.
That's something, that's good news.
Yeah, but please don't expect it to go,
It won't, right, well, it'll
fast.
still level off
It is
around
going to
there.
be
Yeah.
very small
Steady.
increments after.
Steady.
So now we get to, lean a lot more on maintenance and repair, which is on the county side. So talk about the 1 penny sales
Matters.
tax.
It matters.
It really has been significant. Now we can spend the majority of SPOS 2 on things other than repaving. So while it might have been slightly frustrating to see small projects moving along over the last 6 years, we've dedicated the majority to paving. So now we'll really get to see a lot more projects outside of paving. Many of them still transportation related, obviously. And then many of them still getting our parks in a good state of repair. But I think over 6 years, I think we've done a really great job using the SPOS funds to improve quality of life. I just wanted to add those couple of facts in addition to the visual.
This is on the website?
This is on the website.
Oh my God.
No, this
He's
is,
made it a-
right, it's
Yeah.
not public yet.
But at some point, our constituents will be able to click like this.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So what we
That's a
want to do
t-shirt.
is, once the 2024 paving is completed, we
Mhm.
wanted to move this to Excel. And then put it out.
And then,
Just kind of to piggyback off what the mayor said, a lot of the things were intentional in terms of how we built up these plans up until now. We knew we were gonna focus on roads because that was,
The number one.
the number one, thing that council was a council priority. But while we were doing that, and you can see from these plans and studies, we were planning and studying what we were going to do now that the majority of the resurfacing is done. So now you'll start seeing more things that are coming up out of the ground that you can see because we've done the plans and the design. And so while it may have seemed like we wasn't doing anything but paving, we were actually planning for the construction of these things with all of the design and all of these plans that we have. And I just want to say again that we are going to get software that's going to connect all these plans and make the same type of visual representation to the public to be able to see how the plans connect.
Well, thanks, Harry. You've given us enough to chew on tonight. We're going to tell some people about this. We are now, committee member comments. Anybody have any comments? Anybody? Nothing?
Nothing.
Washington? Nothing? Mayor? Oh, wow. City manager? Engineer? And welcome again to Stonecrest, Mr. Ledbetter. You get to know us all real well.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I will say you can say about Screen on the Green, say that. You can say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just a quick reminder, Screen on the Green, Saturday. Southeast Athletic Complex starts at 4 p.m., rain or shine. We will be there. Everybody just pray today that we are shine by Saturday. But even if it does, I mean, we may start a little later than 4, but the show will go on. We're excited. We got Brownstone, Grammy nominated Brownstone this year as our performer. And of course, you know, when the sun goes down, we will show a movie, which is the Screen on the Green portion. Inside Out 2 is the movie. But before that, and even before Brownstone performs, the Entrepreneur Expo is the portion that really makes our heart warm. We get to expose the Stonecrest, Lithonia entrepreneurs to the community, bring folks out to patronize them. They get to show off all their gifts and talents, and we get to support them as one community. We even try our very best to source all the services that we have for that program through our Stonecrest, Lithonia community as best we can. So it's really an opportunity to show off all the great folks that provide services to the greater Stonecrest, Lithonia area. So make sure you come out, free to the public. Everything is absolutely free. We just have a great time. Food trucks, you'll have to spend your money at the food trucks, but other than that, it's free. We have 2 off-site parking locations, one at Salem Bible and one at Miller Grove. So you can park your cars there, get on our shuttle bus, come on over to the park. There is an officer, there will be an officer at both parking locations, so your vehicle will be looked after the entire time. And so we're just looking forward to yet another, this is our 5th annual Screen on the Green. So we're excited yet again to bring one more fantastic Stonecrest event to our community. Come on out.
All right, on September 21st, thank you, Mayor. On September 21st, we'll have our 2nd annual Childhood Cancer Month Fun Day for those wonderful children who are dealing with that, whatever you want, I don't like to say disease, but that dis-ease in their bodies as it relates to cancer. September is Childhood Cancer Month. So we'll be over at the Aquatic Center so that population can have a very dedicated time to be with each other and have a good time. We're looking so forward to that, partnering this year with the CHOA, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, Kids Doc on Wheels, and our Georgia Sickle Cell Foundation. I'm so excited about that. So we hope to see everybody there who, especially those who have had a stint or bout with any type of childhood cancer. It's not just one kind, there are a lot of them, and blood disorders. So we'll see you there from 10 to 1 on September 21st. Councilwoman Washington, I know you got something right after. So if you want to plug yours now, that'd be great.
Well, after you go to Councilwoman Grimes, I would love for you to come over to our event. It's called the Youth Empowerment. What we'll be doing is empowering our youth. Middle school, we're actually reaching out to middle school and high school students to come out and be informed about the different things that are keeping our children in a position where before they get out of high school, they have felony records. So we have 100 Black men attorneys that's going to come out and make a presentation, and we're partnering with the New Black Wall Street, so it will be at the New Black Wall Street. And Derek Bozeman also is going to be the host of the youth empowerment. We actually are going to cover several subjects, which I really stress that parents would bring their youth out to this event, because what we're going to talk about, one, bullying, two, sexing on social media, how policemen identify you through signs that gang signs that you have on, but different things about the encounter when they approach you, how you should respond when a policeman approach you, so that you don't bring things on you that will cause you to be in more trouble than which you might already be. But we have another one, play gun. A lot of kids think through play guns that they can play around with things like that. They also want to talk about that, how that can impact a child's record. You'll go to jail. And it's just so many things that our children do not know that's what is fun and what they're playing with that can mess them up in long term and mess their future up. So after you leave there, we're from 1 to 3. Come out to the New Black Wall Street from 1 to 3, and come and join us and bring your children.
All right, well, if our hearts and minds are clear, we will be calling this meeting. We will adjourn this meeting at 8:01. Adjourn.
Right?